welcome everybody to a new video. In this video I want to talk about how I made my currency in this current league that we are in, and this is Heist League, of course. I haven't played the game as you can tell when you see my atlas, and I haven't played my character because I'm level 98. As you can see, I have just focused on making currency, and so far I have 55 exalted, not to show off, just to tell that it has been quite successful, at least for me. I know some people have pushed way further than me. I couldn't play the first week of Heist League, so I couldn't use the heist mechanic to gain currency. I made it a little bit more different, I'd say, and how I did it I'll show you and discuss in this video. So I made almost all of my currency with crafting, and especially with crafting for minion builds. You can see I have 2 cluster jewels in my inventory, a medium cluster jewel and a large cluster jewel, both for the minions, and I have made a shit ton of currency just crafting those cluster jewels and selling afterwards. So this is what I want to talk about. Before I start, here's of course a small disclaimer. When we talk about making currency with crafting, then this always, really always involves luck. So it is possible that you might not be as successful as other players would, and this is normal. Crafting, especially in Path of Exile, is so luck dependent, and the methods that I show you are luck dependent as well. But at the current market prices, I can almost guarantee that you will make profit out of this. As long as not too many players will see this video and follow my guide and do the same, then prices might collapse a little. But good for you that this is a really small channel, and you found this video. Probably a couple of hundred people will see this video as well, so I might not break the market. That's the good news. So that was the start. Now that was the introduction of this video. Now let's start and jump right into the cluster jewel crafting. But before we start, I have to show you what we are after, what we are looking for actually. And we want to craft cluster jewels. Let's start with the medium one that have 2 specific mods. At least, no, that's wrong. All of the cluster jewels that I will show you will have the renewal notable on them, because the renewal is the best notable on the cluster jewels for minions so far. So all of them will have renewal. The best combination that you could hit is renewal with rebirth. Can you actually see this? I'll just make it a little bit bigger. So renewal with blessed rebirth would be the best outcome for a medium cluster jewel, I'd say. But wow, the price has dropped to 44. Last time I checked they were at 70, so I might actually take it back and see what renewal and Dread March have to offer. Okay, so I take it back, they swapped positions. Dread March renewal is now the new best combination for medium cluster jewels. You will always want to buy the base item, the medium cluster jewel, with at least item level 50, and at max 5 passive skills, so 4 or 5 passive skills. And then you can buy your base for, let's say, 4 to 5 chaos. That's realistic, I guess. So as for the medium cluster jewels, there are a couple of combinations that are at least worth something. So if you slam your alteration orbs, which I'll show you in a second, you will see what I mean. And there are a couple of combinations that are actually worth selling again. So if you buy a medium cluster jewel base for 5 chaos and then slam alteration orbs, regal orbs, scoring orbs, whatever, for let's say 20 chaos on this until you hit something, then you have spent 25 chaos, and let's say you got the renewal and the feasting fiend one, then you would profit a solid 15 chaos from this. And you can see, that's what I mentioned earlier, it's always renewal. So don't look for other mods than renewal before you continue with regaling and all that. But I'll show you this now. So let's start. I have my medium cluster jewel ready and I can just start slamming this. This has already Dread March on it, so you might think it is worth regaling, but it's definitely not, because the only combination that is worth hitting is Dread March Renewal, and this has an open suffix and an open prefix, so regaling it would have a 50% chance to hit a suffix, then the item is garbage already, and if it hits a prefix, then the odds are, let's just check on the Craft of Exile page. It has actually a, let's say, 10% or 8% chance to hit renewal. No, it's a 5% chance. 5% chance to hit renewal, so 50% for the prefix and then 5% to hit it. That's not what we want to do, because we don't want to burn money. So I'm not gonna regaling this one, just a small explanation on that. So I'll continue until I actually hit renewal. And if I don't hit renewal, I just continue with the large cluster jewel, because this is where the big money comes from. Okay. Okay, so this is another candidate. This is Blessed Rebirth, as it is kind of valuable. We saw this earlier. Normally I would regal this, because yesterday I checked the price and it was 75 chaos, and now it's down to 40, so I might actually not regal this, because there is no renewal and the chance to hit renewal is quite low, so I just continue. There is renewal, and it is a prefix, no suffix, just a one mod item, so I have to augment it. Elemental resistances is good, and now hit either Feasting Fiends, Dread March, or Blessed Rebirth. If it is a suffix, then I start from the scratch. It is a suffix and I have to start from the scratch. It's actually a prefix, but it's damage and it's shit. Okay, renewal one more time, so same procedure, just augment its code resistance, that is good. It's all attributes, it's a suffix, it's garbage, you cannot use it. Blessed Rebirth again. Unfortunately, I wanted to show you a Blessed Rebirth that is worth it, but unfortunately the price dropped. Renewal one more time with lightning resistance and Feasting Fiends. So Feasting Fiends renewal, and it took me 100 alteration orbs, couple of regal orbs, and that's pretty much it. So Feasting Fiends renewal, let's just check this really quick. How much was it actually? So enable the window for you, and let's see, renewal and Feasting Fiends. And it's 40 chaos. So I will actually try to sell this one. I'll undercut. I always undercut, and continue with the large cluster jewel. But this is pretty much how it always ends. You will slam a couple of alteration orbs and a couple of regal orbs, and then finally you hit something, and then you might profit.
When I'm ready,
Okay,
and not before.
So now the large cluster jewel, and before we move on with the large cluster jewel, I want to show you what we really want on this. And there we go, large cluster jewel with, of course, renewal. And then there are a couple of combinations. Just to give you the price of the base item, I'll just do it right now. It is not 39, it's more 80 chaos. You want to have a base with item level 75 because you want to have vicious bite. You want at least have the chance to hit vicious bite, so that you need item level 75. Yep, I bought my base for 80 chaos, but I got some bases for 70 chaos as well, so it's always 75 to 80 chaos for the base item. But if you hit renewal and let's say feasting fiends, which is the cheapest combination to hit, then you have 95 chaos already. If you hit renewal with rotten claws for the fizz minions, then you have 138 chaos already. And if you hit something like renewal and vicious bite, just two notables, keep that in mind, then you are at 270 chaos. I have sold a vicious bite renewal yesterday for 310 chaos, just to mention this. But the real jackpot is when you hit renewal, vicious bite and rotten claws. And this number, or this value that you see there, the 25 exalted, isn't a lie. This is real. I have sold one for 24 exalted earlier, so this is actually what you get for this cluster jewel. So therefore you want to have the item level 75, just in case you might hit something good with vicious bite. There is another combination that is pretty good. It's renewal and primordial bonds with rotten claws. That's solid 12 exalted as well, so there are a couple of possibilities, and for that reason I am only slamming the alteration orbs to large cluster jewels, actually, because that's so much more profitable than medium cluster jewels currently. But okay, just to demonstrate, here's my cluster jewel, and I'll start slamming the alteration orbs to this. And then I can show you what I do when I hit something. So this is fire resistance plus renewal, that's good. If I hit, let's say, vicious bite, which is unlikely to happen because vicious bite has a super low weighting. But if I hit rotten claws, for example, then I already have something. If I hit feast and fiends, then I have something. I hit call to the slaughter, and this is nothing. Okay, and there you go. I can sell my medium cluster jewel, which I will, because I need the money. Rotten claws with rack and nothing. So, thank you, sir. Okay, think about it, take time. Oops, okay, there we go. And start from the scratch. Feasting fiends. So, renew. And hit something like vicious bite or rotten claws, please. It's called to the slaughter again. Okay, rotten claws, call to the slaughter. This one has no renewal, but if you hit renewal, then this is pretty cool, because Why should I even mention this? It doesn't matter. Renewal again, cold resistance, boom, nothing. Rotten claws, nothing. Again, rotten claws, you could continue and try to regal for the renewal, but you won't hit it, I can guarantee you. You always want to have renewal first, and then you want to continue. There's one exception, which is if you have Primordial Bond as the only affix on the item, or Vicious Bite as affix on the item, then you can regal. Hopefully you can some regal, not just this 38 chaos from the Minion plus 2. So renewal again, you can see you hit renewal quite often, so it's not super rare. What? Okay. It's not super rare. By the way, I just normally call for so I probably I could open this because HowTo is this, but I tend to not do it anymore. So there we go. That's a renewal call. No, that's a renewal Rotten Claws cluster jewel. And when I remember correctly, that was something around 130 whatever chaos. Let's just check this really quick. Rotten Claws renewal. That's 138 chaos. I will undercut and sell for 136. I just put it up for sale or for trade. So that's it. So now I'll just really quickly calculate the what I've spent on this cluster jewels to actually craft it. As you can see, I've spent around, like, say, I had 380 alterations orbs before, and 380 alteration orbs are around, like, say, 75 chaos. So I have still 145 left. I used a couple of regal orbs, I'd say 20 or so, and maybe 15 scoring orbs, whatever, or 20, I don't know. But I'd say I spent maybe 50 chaos on the crafting material, plus I bought a medium cluster jewel base for 5 chaos, and I bought a large cluster jewel base for 80 chaos, which will sum up to be 135 chaos in total. And if you see, I sell the large cluster jewel for 136 chaos, then I have already profit. In this video I made around 39 chaos profit in less than half an hour or less than 20 minutes, and this wasn't even the really big crafts. So this method is still profitable, and if you're one of 2 viewers of this video, then you might consider yourself to being lucky. Just try it out yourself. And that's pretty much what I wanted to show, and pretty much what I wanted to tell. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, leave me a like, comment something below the video. I'll leave the large cluster jewels and the medium cluster jewel website, how to find them on the trade site, in the description, so you can look them up. And well, that was pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Bye.